Happy VA Wednesday. So today we're going to be talking about buying a house when you're PCSing. So yes, this is for our active military members. We are at that time of the year where everybody's moving where they are. Fantastic. So this is going to be a longer video because I want to cover some of the mistakes that I see as well as things to consider so that you have the most successful real estate journey. Okay. Also, if you're like, Jen, can I just work with you? Yeah, I'm licensed in 48 states, everywhere but Utah and Rhode Island. In Utah and Rhode Island, you can work with Christina on our team, 786-933-2077. And yes, I am the #1 VA loan officer in the world. It's in America, but honestly, in the world. So if you're in Germany, wherever, and you're moving back to the States, call us. Okay, let's get into it. First of all, you want to make sure that you're working with a loan officer that actually understands how military income works. I bring that up because one of the mistakes that I'll hear, I get the call, Jen, I saw you on YouTube and the lender's declining my loan and I'm supposed to close in 4 days and I don't know what to do. And we start talking, and basically what happened is the lender qualified the buyer with the BAH of the duty station they're leaving. So for instance, if you're going from California to Texas, that's a big difference. As a lender, when I'm qualifying you, I don't go off of your current, I go off of what your new BAH will be. If someone doesn't do a bunch of VA, if they don't understand the military, they're not going to recognize that that number changes. They're going to say, oh, can I have your pay stubs? Your LESs, and then they're going to be just using that number without realizing it's going to change. That is where we see problems. Okay, that's number one. Number two, tech is not perfect. And look, we have been so guilty of that in terms of as a company. So for instance, recently a client said to me, Jen, your system's auto-populating 2024 BAH numbers. And I'm like, oh my goodness, you know, this was like the end of January. I reached out to our tech team. I'm like, guys, like, you know, you need to update this. And they're like, well, it hasn't been updated on this site yet. I'm like, yeah, but go to this one. And they're like, oh, okay, Jennifer, you know, it hadn't affected my business because my team knows this stuff. So they're going to look at where you're going. They're going to look at the 2025 numbers. They're going to update everything. It's going to get cleaned up before I even see it. But, you know, if you're working with a loan officer that doesn't know, they're going to default to what the computer says because they don't know to look it up, and you could get declined when you should be approved. I doubt that we were the only company that had this happen. And there's a lot of companies where, you know, they're not even trying to auto-populate. So I think that's something to keep an eye on for sure. If you guys ever see any issues with what we're doing, tell us. I have a direct line to the head of technology at Guaranteed Rate. And that's because we want to make this process better, easier, and smoother for you. So that's another thing to consider. Now, what next? Well, another big thing is the 60 days. So with VA, in theory, you're supposed to occupy the house within 60 days. However, let's say that you're supposed to be there in 4 months. Can I still close in 30 days? Yes. So even though you won't be occupying within 60 days, we know that you will be occupying because we have your orders. So we can do a longer time frame. Now, there's a lot of lenders that are going to be like, well, you have to be there within 60 days, so don't even start shopping. Don't do this, don't do that. No. But here's a key thing. Will I need your orders? Yes. You know, there's one workaround where we get something from your commander stating that you're definitely going to go there. But yeah, we need definitive evidence that you're going to be moving there. And you want that too, because you don't want to buy a house and then, you know, like someone closed without orders and your orders get shifted and suddenly you have a house in Oklahoma and you're like, what the hell am I going to do with this? Like, you don't want that to happen. Now, the next big problem I see is I see that often, you know, I'm trying to do this diplomatically, guys. There's these websites that are like really geared towards PCSing. You know, it's like PCS, add a name, and they have all the military jargon, and they have, you know, uniforms and flags, and it's supposed to make you feel really comfortable. And they're like, we'll set you up with one of our top real estate agents. Guys, 9 out of 10 times they are taking a chunk of that real estate's agent commission. You are being sold as a lead. Do they tell you? No. So if you're going to a website where they're saying, oh, we'll hook you up with a real estate agent, they're taking a fee. Now, full disclosure, do I introduce people to real estate agents when they ask? Yes. Do I take a fee? No. Do I take gifts? No. Do I take bribes? No. I just want my clients with good real estate agents. But these websites where they just exist to refer you to real estate agents, it is not from the kindness of their heart. It is because they are trying to get money from real estate agents, and it's legal. If the website has a brokerage license, they can refer you to Bob, and they can take 30, 40, 50% of Bob's commission. And you may be like, wow, I thought they were sending me to Bob because he was good. No, it might be because he's giving up most of his commission. Seriously, it's like, I don't know how this stuff doesn't have to be disclosed to you. And I guess the theory is, well, it's the real estate agent's money that's being affected. But it's like, in the day and age where you could end up on the hook for your real estate agent's commission, like, don't you want to know if some website's getting 30, 40, 50%? You do. You know, the other thing to watch out for is there is a very big mortgage lender in the space. That's a pause for everyone to drop who they think it is in the comments. Anyways, this mortgage company, they have the best marketing in America. Oh my goodness, it is good. I watch their stuff and I'm like, you're impressive. But they have higher interest rates. They have higher fees. They refer you to one of their, they say, oh, if you work with our real estate agent, we'll give you $500 towards your closing costs. Yeah, they're taking 36% of that real estate agent's commission through a shell company. And you may be like, Jen, why do I care? Because I'm telling you right now, the best agents in America are not giving up their paychecks. They're not. So you want an agent that works for you. You don't want an agent where they have to keep on pushing you to a certain lender because that's how they get their leads, okay? Cannot stress it enough. What else? Okay, so one of the things that I see is a lot of times people don't realize they can have multiple VA loans. You may, let's say that you're in Texas and you're gonna be moving to, pick a state, North Dakota. I don't know. I don't feel like that happens much, but okay, Texas to North Dakota. Let's say you have a house in Texas. We can definitely, if you're going to be renting this house, we can offset the cost with projected rental income. Very important. Then, you know, yes, you can have multiple VA loans as long as you have enough entitlement. So I've had some buyers where they have 2, 3, 4 VA loans. Now look, if you have a $2 million house in Texas with a $2 million VA loan, yeah, you don't have entitlement left over. But, you know, if you have a $200,000-$300,000 house, you're likely going to have enough entitlement left over to buy another house in North Dakota without putting down money. So yes, you can have multiple VA loans at the same time. And I could go on for days, but like, here's the thing. I would definitely say get a fully underwritten pre-approval. That's what we do. No matter who you work with, you want that. And the reason you want that is it makes your offer stronger. A fully underwritten pre-approval, we've reviewed all your documents. You know, we've gone to an underwriter. You have a loan commitment that's contingent on an appraisal, title work, and depending on the state, maybe a pest report. Okay? That is way stronger than a letter, you know, from a big call center where you filled out an app and they're like beep boop bop boop bloop. Okay, it's just night and day. And also you want to make sure you're going through payments, what to expect with rates, when the lender locks. There's a lot to it. And you know, I would be looking at if and when you move again, if this is not a forever home, which rarely it is if you're in the military, I would be looking at the rental market, right? Not for you to rent, but just to know like, okay, you know, when I PCS next, what is this likely to rent for? You know, what are the appreciations? Because I do think that when you're buying a home in the military, you're either buying it for one of two reasons. One, you're going to turn it into a rental property when you leave the area, or two, it's an appreciation play, meaning it's a house that you're going to live in, you know, while you're there. So your BAH goes towards a mortgage, towards building equity instead of rent. And then ultimately you're going to sell it and try to make some money, right? So I think you should be paying attention to those two things as well. I do think you should get pre-approved, you know, before you start house shopping. Very important. You want to make sure you're comfortable with the numbers and everything lines up. Interest rates and fees on VA vary dramatically based on the lender you talk to. So it's really important to pay attention to rates and fees and to ask the question. We waive our lender fee on VA. We're always happy to tell you where we are with rates. Just call us. We don't lock until you're in contract, which is most lenders, but we're very transparent. So please reach out. 786-933-2077. Overall, buying a house when you're PCSing, it's super easy. If you're working with a lender that's transparent and knows what they're doing, easy peasy. If you're working with someone that doesn't really do VA, maybe the real estate agent's like, oh, they're so great at VA, they've done too. Or if you're working with a big call center where every single time you call, you get someone else, no one knows anything, they don't know what VA is, they're trying to figure out what's upside down, not as fun. But when you're working with a pro, it's easy. And that's the thing. This should be easy. Like, moving your life is hard enough. Getting a mortgage in the house should not be the hard part. So feel free to reach out. If you have questions, book a time on the calendar, call, text, fill out an app. We're here to support you. But especially, I know I'm going on. If another lender declined you, can you please call me? Please. There's so many people that get declined for VA loans that shouldn't get declined for VA loans, and it drives me bananas. So if you are declined, please give us a call, okay? Thanks for watching.